everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I went ahead and already got the overall energy for the reading here. We're going to see where it takes us, but it's definitely there is love involved here. But if you're new to this channel, on this channel, we focus on taking you from zero to hero in your own life, giving you the tools and information that you need to grow and expand and evolve into the best version of yourself, and always, always, always keeping the divine number one. Okay? So I just wanted to, I don't have a message at the beginning of the reading like I normally do. With this full moon energy, it's things have been a little cloudy, so I haven't really gotten a whole lot of downloads in the last couple of days. But yesterday, if you saw my reading, there was a card about mushrooms, okay? And, you know, I'm not going to elaborate too much, but you can look back and check in that reading that I did that was for yesterday. And I walked out of my apartment, and there's a mushroom right in my pathway. I thought that was interesting. I had to share that with you. But okay, so let's go and get started. So we got door to romance and cornucopia. Okay, so there's a door opening up here to romance. Maybe I feel like 33 could be significant, or the number 6. I'm getting strongly that you don't see this coming. You also may be feeling like you're caged right now. This person may open the door because there's a cage here with a heart and a keyhole, right? This person may have the key to getting you out of a cage that maybe you are feeling that you're inside a cage. Or maybe you're ready to break out of some kind of cage. I'm hearing, I just heard cage for, you feel caged because you're constantly doing for others. Take that how that resonates. Okay. I just heard they have the key to your heart. Okay, this person may have the key to your heart. We're going to get more information. And then we have number 11, which is cornucopia. And this is like getting all the things, right? Very similar into yesterday's reading, which was about receiving your abundance. This is equally the same in a different deck. It's like getting all the things. Now, this is like all these different kind of fruit and everything. You may be focusing on a healthier diet, I'm hearing raw diet. But take that as that resonates. Okay. This new person might lead you to a healthier lifestyle or a healthier way of eating or something like that as well, I'm getting. But this is like getting all the things, all the blessings. Okay? And I'm going to go to this because these are all the other love cards that came out. So the other one we got is open yourself to others. This is how you will create new friendships and attract a love relationship. Okay, so you need to be open to this. You need to open the door and allow this in. Okay? Be willing to open that gate. Because we also have career and finances and retreat. Okay? So this person this cornucopia could be a business opportunity or a career opportunity. It says financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. But that's not really what I'm getting. What I'm getting is like it's an opportunity. And then it says, yeah, I'm really not getting financial issues with this, especially with the cornucopia here. And then we have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So you may be going away with this person to discuss an opportunity, or meeting this person to go over an opportunity. That's what I'm getting from this. But you need to be open. And that's what I'm getting with this, like this door. Okay, maybe you haven't opened that door lately. And the divine is saying you need to uncage yourself and open this door. That's what I'm hearing. You could be seeing hearts, I'm getting that as well. If you're seeing hearts, because we have heart here, hearts in there. Okay, and then we have navigating by the stars. Follow your bliss. I feel like you're on a path here, right? But you can't really see where it's going you. You're allowing the divine to guide you here on this path. I'm hearing letting the divine light guide you. Right? Even though you can't see the path clearly. And the divine says they want you to keep moving forward. It's funny, it's like this person is getting ready to walk on this trail and it's all dark, right? Now this person is on the trail and now it's all lit up, right? I feel like what's hidden is going to come to light on your path here. So you just need to keep moving forward. I'm also hearing you have ascended the mountain, so you just need to keep going forward here. Okay? And what's in the dark is coming to light. That's what I'm getting with that. And then number 39, it says you are wanted. Number 12 could be significant. It says there is a home waiting within. Okay. Maybe you felt caged because, you didn't see any opportunities, because it says you are wanted. Are you feeling like, isolated, or feeling that, like kind of in this energy here where it's like, I don't know where I'm going. I've got the divine. That's what I got. And I'm just going to keep following that until the divine delivers opportunities or people or a person on my path that understands my worth and my value and wants what I have to offer. That's what I'm getting, right? And I feel like someone's showing up saying, yeah, I want what you have to offer here. Like, maybe other people couldn't see it, but I see it. That's what I'm getting. It's like, maybe there was an opportunity where, they're in the dark and this person's in the light. They can see it, which is why the divine wants you to keep moving forward. That's what I'm getting. But something's coming in for you. This can also be about love, like you are wanted here. You also could be, this cornucopia could be a home, like you could be moving as well. But there's some kind of career opportunity. I'm getting that. Like it might be both or one or the other. Take it as it resonates. But I'm getting this very dark to light here. And then we have one Bible scripture. It says, I have stored up your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Psalm 119:11. Now we have 11:11 here. This is a divine number. And we also have heart. I just said Hearts could be significant. So pay attention to hearts, where you might see them, when you're out and about. Okay, it's just a confirmation that there's something in this reading for you. Right? Continue to use the divine word to guide you, right? And protect you from sin. That's what I'm getting from that. So I'm going to get a couple of cards to clarify this some more, and then we're going to get some messages from the Lighthouse box to get further information, okay? Let's see. What else, Spirit, can you give this on this? You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Okay. So I feel like this person is coming in to make you safe. Okay. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'm on this path alone in the dark. I've got the divine, maybe, and this person's going to come in and reassure you to keep going, right? Because you're safe here. I'm hearing they want to keep you safe. That's what I just heard. They want to keep you safe. Okay. Oh yeah, at the bottom of the deck we have, don't let your past hold you back. South Node. Okay, so, and we talk about sin here. Okay, the South Node is the shadow side. That would be the devil energy, the sin, the temptations, right? That are out there that take you out of the light, right? That may have been a cycle that you just closed, right? Make sure you don't let your past hold you back, right? Because you will be tested, right? But remember to keep moving forward because this is what's waiting for you, right? And I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who has closed the cycle, right? You're not looking back. You've done the healing. You've learned the lessons, right? The South Node is meant to teach you lessons, okay? It's that doing that inner work on your shadow side, right? So you can grow and expand and heal and get back into the light. Right? Okay, I'm going to get one more card and then we'll get some messages. But, if you've been worried about a home situation or if something's going to come in for you, right? It's coming in and this person's going to keep you safe. That's just what I keep hearing. And this is divinely guided. Okay? But you got to be open to this. So if you're somebody who is like, nope, I'm not interested, or you've kept your door closed here. And I'm getting this is new. So, because we had at the bottom of the deck, don't let your past hold you back. So this is something new. This isn't something old. So if you're worried about something circling back around, this isn't that story, okay? And keep letting the divine guide you. Keep following. I'm hearing God's wisdom, okay? All right, let's see. And I'm hearing like this, I just heard this cornucopia is going to keep you safe. So take that as that resonates. Okay. What else? It says oneness, number 42. It says, look for the common humanity, invoke the Lemurian light. Yeah, so you could be doing something on the internet, something that you're going to do for humanity or you want to do for humanity, right? Maybe this is the path that you're on and you're like, Divine's got me on this path. I can't see where it's going, right? This person is going to show up and keep you safe on this path. That's what I'm hearing. Right? I'm just hearing, keep going, keep moving forward, because if you feel like you're in the dark, you don't know where you're going, you know this is what the divine is leading you on, right? I'm also getting with this oneness. It's like you and the divine are co-creating, right? For humanity. That's what I'm hearing. We also have number 42. This could be, or number 6. Take that as that resonates. But you're doing something that the divine is leading you on. And if you haven't started it, you need to get started. Okay. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have number 9. It says, open your heart, love yourself, dare to be vulnerable. I feel that when it comes to this person, right? The divine wants you to open your heart, because in this thing right here, this heart, it's like, it's really hard for me to tell if it's in or out of this cage. Looks like maybe it's hanging on the outside of this cage, but it's like the divine needs you to open this up, because this person has the key to your heart. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. All right, so let's get some messages from the Lighthouse box. Okay. So, keep moving forward. You're safe. This person is going to come in and make you safe. They're also, and I'm also hearing they want you. They want you for this job, or they want you for love, or they want you for both. Okay? But keep moving forward, okay? And allow yourself to open, allow the door to open to this person. We talked about boundaries, right? Maybe you have solid boundaries right now because of people taking advantage. I'm hearing people taking advantage of your kindness, or your work. So maybe you've pulled back, right? Focusing on yourself. So, but I feel like you've done healing by doing that, but now I feel like you're starting to feel caged in. Like, okay, I've focused on myself, I'm doing the inner healing, I'm doing the self-care, I'm not just giving myself freely to everyone and I'm not allowing my kindness and my empathy to be taken advantage of, right? And you've pulled back, but now I feel like you're starting to feel caged. You're like, okay, now I'm ready to, I just heard, get back in the game. That's what I just heard. So take that how that resonates. But also I just heard I'm ready to fly. So maybe you're ready to fly out of this cage. Maybe where you're living, you feel like you're caged as well. I'm getting that. Okay? I'm hearing this is the divine's door to help you free yourself. So you need to open this door, okay? All right? And I'm also getting this oneness is you co-creating with the divine on this path. So keep moving forward, okay? It says the Lord will fight for you. All you have to do is keep still. Yeah, the divine is fighting for you right now. This could be behind the scenes, okay? He's fighting. He just needs you to sit still. This is Exodus 14:14. And, that's 5:5. That's change. Okay? God always wins. So let him fight your battles while you sit still and focus on moving forward on what you're trying to co-create with the divine here, right? because you are going to be safe, okay? It says, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only option. Yeah, and what I'm getting with this is that, you know, if you are an empath, it's really coming out strong in this reading. If you're an empath or someone who is, you know, has a huge heart, you know, likes to do for others, right? It's like, and you have incredible amount of determination and drive, and your empathy is what wants you to be able to, you know, be there for others or help them care, you know, deal with issues or problems, right? But it's like people take advantage of that. I feel like that's how you feel, and then it's like now you're carrying the burdens of everybody's problem on your back, and they're not seeing it because you make it look easy. You know, they don't see all the tears that you've cried, all that you've had to sacrifice in your own self-care, right? Everything you had to do when being strong was your only option. Okay, and I feel like that's the cycle that you're done with. You're like, I'm done carrying everybody's problems, burdens, right? Having my empathy taken advantage of, my kindness taken advantage of, and nothing being returned, right? They just take and take and take and take, and like I'm a bottomless pit. I feel like that's how you're feeling. Because I'm done feeling empty. I'm done feeling empty. I'm done feeling like I have nothing for myself. And I feel like I'm speaking to someone that, you know, your heart is your gift, right? And you're able to, you're able to produce unlike anyone else. And so people just assume that you're just, you know, you're strong, you can do it all, right? But why should you have to? Right? It's not your job, just because your heart is the gift, that you should just carry everybody's burden so that they find peace and you find chaos. No, I feel like this is a cycle of, you know, why maybe you've pulled back and put up those boundaries and are like, no, this cycle's done here. You know, like I understand my worth, my value. Yes, I'm an empath, but that doesn't mean you get to take advantage of my kindness. Right? Right? And I feel like through this lesson that you've recently learned, right, that you've closed the door on the constant being chained to solving other people's problems. It's like you're the therapist, and then you're also the problem solver, and then you know you're just like the go-to person. That's what I'm hearing. You're the go-to person, but none of them are ever looking at, you know, the burden that's putting on you and how you're done being strong for people who would never be strong for you. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? But it taught you a valuable lesson. It taught you that it taught you how strong that you are. I think you realized through this what you're capable of achieving, what you're capable of doing, if it was for the right person or the right people, right? Where it's valued equally, right? I just heard you're not a machine. That's what I just heard. You're not a machine. Okay. Let's see. But I also just heard, through your strength, you found your power. And I feel like now it's like you're in this limitless, fearless energy, right? Because although this was a major test and a major lesson, it showed you a lot about yourself. It showed you a lot about your worth. And you're not settling for less, right? You're not settling for people who are just going to dump and then have nothing to give you in return, right? Sometimes our biggest disappointments lead us to our biggest blessings. It's pretty much what I just said, right? Trust His plan even when you don't understand the path, right? And like I said, I feel like this may have been a disappointment for you because I feel like you went above, and I'm hearing above and beyond. Like you went above and beyond for people, right? And it has come to be a huge disappointment. But it's leading you to your biggest blessing. And that's why the divine needs you to continue on this plan. It says, trust His plan even when you don't understand the path. That's this, right? So keep moving forward because what you thought was a disappointment is leading you to your blessing here. Okay? Let's see. There's no such thing as failure, only experience. Everything happens for a reason, and everything in the universe is connected. Yeah, and I've said this many times. There is no such thing as failure or even disappointment, right? Because I told you this lesson of showing you your strength, right? Because you had no other option. It showed you who you really are and what you're capable of. And you understand the value of that and that you're not just going to give it to anyone anymore, right? I'm hearing it's rare. Your determination, your insight, and what you're capable of achieving is rare. That's what I'm hearing. And maybe that's why you felt like it was such a disappointment. These people are a disappointment. Maybe that's what maybe you're surrounded by people, whether it's business or purple. I don't know why I said purple. Business or personal, right? You're just like, I'm disappointed by these people, right? I've showed up with pure strength and they've showed up with nothing, okay? So maybe you're just like, I'm following God's plan. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going, right? I'm hearing it's gonna be revealed to you, and that there's no such thing as failure, only experience. This taught you a lot about yourself. And also I'm hearing what you do and you don't want now. Because this changed you. I'm hearing this transformed you. Everything happens for a reason. This experience, this disappointment, right? It's meant to teach you a lesson, and everything is connected. It's guiding you to something new. That's what I'm hearing. It's guiding you to something new. Okay? And this is where you have to surrender, okay? Because the last thing you want to do is hold on to something that's not for you. And this could be a job. It could be a business. It could be a person. It could be a place. It could be a habit or a mindset, a way of thinking, right? Don't continue the disappointment by holding on to something when God has something planned for you that's is going to be a blessing, right? Make sure you allow those things to release out of your life. They were meant to teach you something. They're not meant to hold on to, okay? It says, be strong and courageous. Yes, you are strong and courageous, even though you were disappointed, right? It showed you your strength, okay? Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Yeah. Now, we got you are wanted, right? We also got a career, a retreat here. Like you may be taking a vacation or time away with this person. Okay? The divine wants you to be strong and courageous for this new path. That's what I'm getting. Understanding that this is a blessing, okay? It's taking you somewhere new, but God is going to be with you. He's never going to leave you or forsake you on this path, okay? I heard, He's seen your strength. He's also seen your disappointments, okay? But He also knows what's best for you, okay? So you've got to surrender and release things, whatever might be caging you here. You need to be able to release it because it's going to lead you to something new. That's what I'm hearing. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Yeah, that's the lesson you learned from this. I'm speaking to somebody who has a very giving heart or is extremely empathic, right? Like you can understand people's pain, hurt, problems. I'm also hearing pressure, right? But it's not your job to take that on and make it your own because, once your cup becomes empty, you have nothing to give anyone, not even yourself, right? So you have nothing to offer. I feel like this is a journey that was meant to teach you a lot about yourself, okay? Right? Realizing that taking care of yourself needs to be first, right? Your cup, right? So you can bring all that you have to offer to the table. Because if your cup is empty, you don't have nothing, right? Because you gave it all away being pleasing others. I'm hearing constant demands. Not seeing that you're not an endless supply of energy, right? I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who constantly is doing and giving and being there and solving problems and being a shoulder to cry on and a therapist and all these things, right? But nobody ever took the time to look at you and see, what you were actually going through to have to endure that, right? I'm speaking to someone, I feel like no one asked if you were even okay. It was just like, hey, I have more demands for you. And it's like, I think you put a smile on your face and then like, okay, I'm a strong person, I can do it. But inside you were like, this is becoming insane. I'm not a bottomless pit of energy. I'm hearing problem solving as well. It's this constant feeding to others to bring peace while you're in chaos. That's what I'm really getting here. And I feel like I'm also getting like with this disappointment, I feel like the biggest disappointment, and I feel like the divine wants you to know, the disappointment isn't in you. Yes, you learn the lesson about giving too much, right? Doing too much. Understanding boundaries, right? But I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who's very empathic, very giving, right? I'm an empath, so I can understand. It's like I'm speaking to somebody who the biggest disappointment and the divine is saying, is in the reciprocation of what you offered. You know, I feel like that's what is really disappointing in your eyes. It's like, wow, you know, I have so much to give and I gave it. And again, it's led to a disappointment. It's why you have to be so protective and have that high level of discernment on who you give things to. Because the takers won't stop taking. Right? Oh. You can forgive someone and still not want to have anything to do with them. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself of pain in your present. It's not about making room for someone painful in your future. Yeah. And this is all about forgiveness, right? Freeing yourself from any pain, right? And maybe that's the disappointments from people that, you know, used you as a crutch. That's what I'm hearing. Used you as a crutch. You need to forgive them because you're going on to something new here, right? But you don't need to take, if somebody hurts you, you know, obviously forgiveness is about you. It's about releasing them and allowing yourself to move forward and no longer carrying the baggage of that pain into where you're going, right? It doesn't release them from what they've done. It's saying, you know what, I'm not allowing that pain to move forward with me. You know, I deserve to be free of that, right? Free to give that to someone else. So, and forgiveness is freeing, right? When you release it, but doesn't mean they get to move with you into your future, okay? It says, knowledge is power. Yeah, that's what this lesson taught you. It taught you about your power. It taught you knowledge. You know, you may have learned a lot of things from this. You know, maybe it was a business. Maybe it was a job that you were working at, right? Maybe you felt like you were taking advantage of and it just became a big disappointment, right? It taught you a lot of things about your strength, about your power, your determination, what you're able to do. I'm here is rare. That's what I'm hearing is rare. Okay? So take that with you moving forward, okay? Take the power that you've learned about yourself and move forward, right? With your cup being full. Don't be a secret. If they can't mention you publicly, they shouldn't be able to have you privately. If you're a secret, please know that you're probably not the only one. Okay? Maybe this has been something of your past. Maybe this is that person that's coming back around, right? That's what I'm really getting. Okay, so there might have been somebody in your past that wanted to keep you a secret, right? And now they're coming back around wanting forgiveness. Okay. You need to forgive them and free them, right? They don't get to be a part of your future here. Okay? You know, you are worthy and deserving of somebody who is never going to keep you a secret, right? That's just somebody who wants to feed off your energy, your light, your rare gifts, and take what they need for you and then move on to someone else. They don't want people to know because then it creeps on their options, right? Because they have to have a lot of options to feed them. That's why you have to be a secret. In this situation, I'm really getting is like you were dealing with someone who enjoyed having a lot of options, which is why they had to keep you secret, right? Just forgive this person, right? I feel like I feel like knowledge is power here. You've moved on. I think you know your strength and your worth. This could have been another disappointment. Okay? But you're moving on from this. You have something new coming in here. Never assume. Okay. What I'm really getting with this assume is like people should have never assumed that you were strong enough to handle it all. Or never assume that you were, I'm also hearing this, especially for those who are empaths, okay? Never assume that you're always going to be there. I think people assumed because you were, I'm hearing unstoppable, okay? That they assumed that you would always be there, right? Constantly giving, constantly adjusting, constantly being that crutch, right? When you're like, I've had enough, I'm giving that energy, that time, that investment in myself, because investing in another seems to be a disappointment. That's what I'm getting. Okay. I'm hearing stand in your power. Okay. And that power does not need to stand in the dark or be a secret. Okay. Don't rush into a relationship. Focus on finding yourself first. Yeah, and I feel like after this secret person, right, that you're having to forgive here, that maybe have been a disappointment, or, it doesn't have to be this secret person, right? I think it's just a disappointment I'm feeling, the energy I'm feeling is like overall, right? Which is why you've surrendered on this new path where you don't know where it's taking you. Right? Co-creating with the divine here. And the divine is saying, don't rush into anything. Keep focusing on yourself. Okay? Or maybe this is what you've been doing. You've been, releasing people that assumed you would always be there, right? Now you're focusing on yourself, right? Letting the divine guide you to your next person. Your next relationship, right? You're not rushing into anything. You're surrendering to the path and letting the divine guide you to a new person, right? We have the Empress. Yeah, this is your energy. You are the Empress. Now, the Empress is somebody who is this kind of person. It's like limitless strength. She can run a business. She can run a household. She can do all the things and make it look effortless, right? And that's a true strength, a true power that's rare. But people like to take advantage of it because what they see is that, oh wow, she makes it look easy. It must be really easy for her. Or him, take it how it resonates, right? But what they don't understand is the cost of it, right? And I feel like, you've taken your power back now and you're like, okay, I know my worth, I know my value, I know that I offer something incredible, right? And I'm done giving it to people who are constantly a disappointment. Or want to keep me a secret, if that resonates with you, right? If they don't value you, right? Or they make you feel like you have to be an endless supply of energy, constantly giving, right? they don't respect you. That's when you have to step back, reevaluate your situation. I feel like you've learned, you know what? I'm done filling other people's cup at the expense of my own, and now I'm going to feed my own cup. And now you've taken your power back, and she's sitting on this throne, and she's also she can manifest anything she wants. She knows her truth. She knows her worth and value, and she's going to sit here and wait for the divine to guide her to, and this is not, don't look at, I keep saying her, but it could be he or she, okay? Because we don't do gender. But, you're in control. I'm hearing you're in control now. Okay? And these people that never, assumed you would never leave or assumed that you would always be there, right? Should never make that assumption, especially on something that has high value. Because at some point, when and this might be something you're going through, especially for my empaths out there, it's like, at some point the empath wakes up and realizes, yeah, I'm done with this. And I feel like that's something you went through, right? And now you're standing in your power. You took your power back. And realize, it's not worth it. It's not worth the sacrifice is too much. Whether it's, business, personal, work, job, right? It says, laugh with me. Genesis 21:6. I feel like this is, maybe you weren't doing a lot of laughing in this cycle here. I feel like I'm hearing a lot of draining. It was like something was really draining you, right? Now you've refilled your cup, right? Focusing on yourself, not rushing into anything here. And now you're like, okay, I'm laughing again, right? And you may be laughing with the divine on this new path. Okay? Also, I'm feeling like this new person that's coming in, that's going to make you safe and wants to let you know that you're wanted, right? They also are going to make you laugh here, okay? But I feel like this journey taught you a lot about yourself and about giving and about limits and about, how an empath can self-sacrifice themselves into nothing, right? To where you don't even recognize yourself, right? Because you literally have been drained from everything and everyone that wants to keep chained to you. That's what I'm hearing. Radiate positivity. Yeah, that's the energy you're in now. You're laughing, you're radiating positivity. Maybe you didn't have it in this because you were too drained from the constant demands. That's what I'm getting. Now, I'm also getting, because you're radiating this positivity, it may try to circle someone back around, okay? But Spirit is saying, forgive them, release them. They don't get to go with you where you're going. Okay? All right? But this is where you're going. Okay? And you may not, it's funny, it matches this card here. It's like keep moving forward because you're radiating positivity here. I'm hearing it's bringing out the real you. That's what I'm hearing. It's bringing out the real you. So keep moving forward. Okay? And let the divine guide you. Don't hold on to things that are only going to keep draining you, right? Because you're this empress here. You could be a business owner, right? I feel like this is the vision I just got, is that you've been in this energy for a while, but it's like you left, because it's a woman sitting in a chair here. I feel like when you were constantly giving and being that crutch for others, it's like you left the chair. It's like you got out of your chair and was like chasing down and solving people's problems and being at the therapist, being the crutch, being the one to lift others and all of this stuff. And you realize, why am I doing all this? I'm going to sit back in my chair and give to myself here and rest. I'm hearing rest, right? And by doing so, you're back laughing, you're radiating positivity here. We have the Knight of Wands, okay? What I'm getting is you're getting your passion back with this, right? Maybe there's something new that you've started here with the divine that you're co-creating with, right? That is going to do something for humanity here that you're passionate about, right? I'm hearing it's bringing back the real you. That's what I'm hearing. It's bringing back the real you. And maybe you lost your passion during this, I'm hearing, never-ending story of takers. That's what I'm hearing. Never-ending story of takers. Okay? Maybe you lost your passion and now you found it again. And through this, it's like you're laughing, you're radiating positivity, and by sitting back in your chair as the Empress, you're in that energy, which the Empress is somebody who attracts. She doesn't chase, right? But I feel like at one time you got out of your chair, and I wouldn't say you're chasing, but you were in your empathic energy, right? Being that giver, that problem solver, that crutch for others, right? The therapist, all the things, right? But now you're back in your chair and you're like, I'm done with that. I'm laughing again. I'm radiating positivity. I know my worth. I've learned how much strength I have, which is an incredible amount of strength. And nobody should ever assume that I'm always going to be there. That what I offer is rare and valuable and shouldn't be taken advantage of, right? Well, now you have someone else that sees it and is going to honor it, right? You're wanted, it says. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. Yeah, that's what you did. It's what you did in the situation here. You've like, I've had enough. It's when the empath decides to have an awakening and say no more. It's almost like it broke you into an awakening. That, you know what? I'm giving that love to myself. I'm tired of giving to people who only just disappoint me. It's the, like I was saying, I was hearing earlier, it's like the constant takers. I just heard they're lining up. It's like they were just lining up one after another, right? I just heard like a gas station. So maybe these people were feeding off your energy and your light. Maybe you felt like, man, these people are constantly texting me, calling me, needing me over dumb things, really stupid things. And you're like, why is that? It's because they're feeding off your energy. They feel better after being around you. They're gassing up. That's what I'm hearing. Gassing up? So, yeah. I feel like your fuel station's closed, right? But the divine wants you to open up for business again for a new person that's coming in, right? Allow yourself to be open for others, because now that you know your worth, now that you know your value and your strength, right? I also feel like this person is going to help you on a path where you don't have to constantly give and be disappointed. Okay? Let me start over. You either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. Okay, this is this reading to a T, okay? You were standing outside of your story and hustling for your worthiness, okay? And that's what that is perfectly what I was seeing with this Empress here. It's like you got out of the chair and decided, oh, well, I must have to hustle for my worthiness. And the divine's like, no, sit back in your chair, right? You know your worth, you know your value, right? You cried out through the disappointment. It taught you a lesson. And now you're ready to walk inside your story and own it. Right? You don't need to seek. The divine showed you your worth. You also learned your worth and value through your own experiences here. But you realize you don't need to chase your worth. Right? People who really honor you and respect you, they see it from the very beginning. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to hustle for it. You don't need validation. You don't need outside validation. You are enough, which is why you're like, I'm setting boundaries. I'm going to be control of my own story here. I'm standing inside my story. I'm not stepping out anymore, chasing validation and making people find peace when they need to get it for themselves. Okay. Enjoy today. Yeah. Take the time to enjoy today. Celebrate how far you've come. Okay. This is I'm hearing huge epiphany here. Huge epiphany. This is what's going to bring in the change in your life because you learned this. Right? You've learned to walk inside your own story here. Not allowing other people to chain you down to theirs. That's what I'm hearing. Chain you down to theirs. Okay? I'm also hearing someone might be carrying a secret and now they can't carry the guilt or something like that. And now they want to come back around. They need to deal with their own healing, right? It's not your job to provide peace for them. That's getting out of this chair again, right here, and going out and trying to give someone else peace. They need to find that peace within themselves, okay? Right? You're ready. You're laughing now. You found your story here. And now you're laughing and you're radiating positivity. Your life is not dictated by other people's problems or being a crutch for others or having to feed them your energy like a gas station, right? You're feeding that to yourself and it's bringing you into your power. That's what I'm hearing. And these are things that you've learned about yourself, which is bringing you in this energy of your oneness with the divine, but also your true, authentic power here. And someone is seeing it, right? So don't look at the past and regret, right? Take it as a lesson that it was meant to teach you about yourself. Because, like I said, if you're an empath that has woke up to overgiving, over-sacrificing, being the everything to everyone except yourself, right? And thinking that's honorable, when really it's just a self-defeating, never-ending story, okay? You took your power back. You need to go enjoy your day, okay? This is like, some people never come out of this cycle because they feel like they need to constantly chase their worth, okay? But now you're stepping into your own story here. And the divine is guiding you. I'm hearing they're proud of you. I'm hearing they're proud of you. So go do something to celebrate yourself. And if you're somebody who is an empath and you're just realizing this, okay, you need to take your power back, all right? Your kindness, your empathy is not a weakness. And don't allow other people to take advantage of it like it's some kind of tool or contract, okay? It's something that should be cherished. It should be valued, honored, because it's rare. There's a lot of people, empathy is about having, you can feel other people's energy. You have great depth to you. You have a lot of feeling, and it comes with a big heart, right? And it's rare. There's a lot of people out there that feel nothing, which is why they can continue to take and have no remorse about it, no second thoughts about it. But it's time to protect you and your rare gifts, okay, by setting those boundaries, okay? But make sure you open the door to this person and be open to allow others to come in, right, that see that value, okay? And it could be a career opportunity, it could be love, right? But you're wanted by this person, right? This person that wants you could also be an empath. Maybe they understand the journey of being an empath, okay? And they want to keep you safe, right? So don't give up on your path. The divine is guiding you to this, okay? I'm going to get a couple of cards to close this out. But, to those empaths out there, okay, there's a lot of heartless, non-feeling, cold individuals out there that will take from you and have until you have nothing left of yourself, okay? And you've got to take your power back, right? Because, the divine doesn't want, you can't stand in your purpose or your power when you have nothing, okay? All right? And you're not here to be, a constant. I know, I just keep getting gas station. You're not here to constantly fill others because they can't get it for themselves, okay? You deserve somebody who can come to you with a full cup, right? And then you go to them with a full cup and you exchange, and it's an even exchange, right? But when you're constantly giving to people who have an empty cup and they expect you to fill it, right? Because you come with light. You come with a high vibrational energy that people just being near you instantly feel better about themselves, about their situation, about them, right? And once you leave, eventually that energy runs out, which is why they're chasing you to get a refill, okay? Your job is not to refill people. Your job is to focus on the power of, I'm hearing the power within, okay? And those people who are constantly chasing to get refilled by you, they need to get that for themselves. And in order to do that, they need to, they need to have their own wake-up call. They need to do their own healing and ask themselves why they thought you were an endless supply to begin with. And why they didn't value you. Why they didn't honor you. Why they treated you like a tool. Or just simply, a contracted relationship, okay? When really you are, I'm hearing high value. You're of something of high value, okay? So stand in your power, knowing that you're high value. Chase your passions, okay? And keep filling that cup. I'm hearing, knowing your strength now. You know how strong you are. And you know what you're capable of achieving. And these people, although they took from you, and they disappointed you, but man, didn't they absolutely showed you, what you're capable of achieving. All right? And there's value in that. And I just heard, what's next? Your glow up, okay? Your glow up, you may be in it or it's coming, but there's like serious glow up coming. When I lean toward love, I am led. Yeah, this person is coming in with love, okay? I'm hearing open heart, okay? And they're going to lead you to a new path, okay? You got to be open to this, okay? Also stay high vibrational. Stay focused on the divine, in the energy of love, keeping those positive thoughts, focusing on what you want to attract in your life, not where you are, right? Where you're going. And certainly don't look in the past, okay? Because you're not going there. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. You're not going there. All right, let me, oh, they want one of these. Okay, this is the last card, but this is a great reading, especially for those out there who are love to give or are empaths, right? And about how that when you push past that line, it can break you, right? And you can lose yourself in giving, okay? All right, let's see. Simple living, yeah. And I feel that's what you've learned. You know, maybe you were somebody who was like chasing for validation, worth. Maybe you were chasing money even, okay? For those that it resonates with, right? But now you're like, you know what? My worth, my value, my light, right? It's like I'm good with the simple living here. It says, no worries. Everything that you need will be provided. Enjoy your life, okay? I feel like that's this person here. I feel like this person is going to love you and keep you safe. That's what I just heard. They want to love you and keep you safe. You are wanted here, but you got to be open to this. Be open to new friendships as well. Okay? And I'm just hearing they want to take care of you. Take that how it resonates. But I feel like you're somebody who's like, you know what? I want to laugh. I want to radiate. I can't say that word. I want to be positive, right? And this person is going to lead you there, right? Simple living, no worries. Everything that you need will be provided for. Enjoy your life. Yeah, that's this person. You know, there's two little mice here. You know, and because they look almost identical, I'm getting is like this person understands you, and you're going to understand them. Like you have a lot in common, maybe your experiences or life lessons or things you've been through. I'm getting that as well. I'm hearing same mindset. Maybe you guys have the same mindset. I'm hearing that as well. But I'm hearing keep being bold. That's what I just heard. Keep being bold. Be brave. Keep moving forward, right? Even though you may be in the dark as far as where the path's going to lead you. Okay? But it's leading you to, I'm hearing, it's leading you to where your light can be seen and valued, okay? Well, that's the message I have for you today. I hope it's resonated. I hope it's giving you clarity and how you can get unstuck and maybe move forward and take your power back, right? But if it didn't resonate with you, please check back tomorrow. I do daily readings Monday through Friday. But until then, enjoy your Tuesday. Go do something to celebrate yourself. You are worth celebrating, right? Even if no one else could see it, right? You are worthy to be celebrated, okay? But until next time, I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.